section 1 on chapter 4 is composition functions. So that's plugging one function into another. So we have f of g of x. That means I'm taking g of x and plugging that into my equation for f. So it's basically substitution. I'm substituting g of x in for f, because normally when I say like f of 2, that means I plug in 2 in for my x, right there, with 2 in for my x, and I solve it, right? So f of g of x means I'm plugging in this whole equation in for this x. So f of g of x is taking 2 times x, but my x is this whole equation, g of x, so 3x, then minus 5. So that becomes 6x minus 5. So f of g of x is 6x minus 5. And that is a linear equation. So since that's a linear equation, I know the domain and range is all real numbers. Okay, and then for g of f of x, that is taking f of x and plugging that into g. So taking f of x and plugging that into g. So here's my f of x, 2x minus 5, and I'm going to plug that into the x of g of x. So instead of 3x, it's now going to be 3 times my f of x equation, 2x minus 5. That I need to distribute, and I get a 6x minus 15. So you notice that those are not the same, right? F of g of x is not always the same as g of f of x. So g of f of x, 6x minus 15, is not the same as this one. They are not the same as this one. They are both linear, so domain and range for both of these are all real numbers, but they're not the same equation. Okay, so that is part A. Now let's go ahead and look at part B. Part B is just the domain and range, which is all real numbers since they're linear.